You do not want to attract bargain hunters to your brand. You want to attract either high ticket customers or people who are willing to pay your price, not because they want the cheapest, but because they want the best. And the way you position your brand is either going to attract the type of customers that you want, or they're going to repel them and attract all of the people that you do not want. So if you're tired of feeling invaluable, tired of people coming in and bickering with you about how much your product or service costs or not wanting to pay, looking for a deal, this episode is going to be for you because I am going to share with you 5 amazing shifts that you need to make in your mindset and your behavior so that you can start attracting the customers and the opportunities that you deserve by positioning yourself as a premium brand. I'm Coach MJ, and welcome to Purposeful Presence, the go-to podcast for entrepreneurs who are ready to elevate your branding and your social marketing. So again, you can attract the customers and the opportunities that you deserve. I am a brand strategist. I am a keynote speaker, a published author, an event producer, an all-around serial entrepreneur. And it is my mission to help you to show up in the marketplace in such a way that you have a tribe of loyal, raving fans at your doorstep, ready to gobble up whatever it is that you are bringing to the marketplace and paying the price that you want them to pay for it. So like I said, today we're going to be talking about 5 brand elevating mindset shifts that are going to help you to attract premium customers. And first, I want to level set what I mean by premium customer. You may not even be selling something that's super expensive. You may not have a product that's hundreds or thousands of dollars, but that does not mean that you don't deserve premium customers. Premium customer is about a mindset. And as I go through these mindset shifts that you need to make, and by the way, you want to take notes, you want to share this episode, you want to be sure you like this episode so that it gets out to more people. But you want to make sure that you are attracting the customers who will not be looking for you because you're the cheapest, but because you're the best. Even if what you sell only costs $70, there's probably some version or some knockoff of whatever it is you sell that's $20. And you don't want the people coming to you saying, oh, so-and-so down the street is $20. Why are you selling yours for $70? And that can happen. You don't want that. You want people who are coming for you because you are the best. But the way your brand appears in the marketplace is going to determine whether people believe that you are the best. And I think we inherently kind of know which brands are premium and which brands are not. There are some brands that never put their items on sale. Nothing wrong with offering a discount. I do it myself quite often. But it's the idea that I am getting you because I had it on sale. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I think I'm already giving away one of my mindset shifts. There are some brands that never put their items on sale. Either you pay for a Bentley or you don't. You pay for a Porsche or you don't. They're not doing big sales to get people in the door. You go in there, you expect to pay 6 figures for a car. That's what you're going to pay. Premium brands can exist in those high numbers, and it can also exist in less than $100 because there's always an ability for someone to be cheaper, all the way down to $0. But let's go ahead and get into these 5 mindset shifts. And I have outlined them in one of my favorite ways, and that is to use an acronym. The acronym we're using is BRAND, B-R-A-N-D, okay? So the first letter in the word brand is B. And B stands for brand like a boss. Your brand is an investment, not an expense. So in this mindset shift, the old way of thinking is branding is just a cost. And we're talking about for your business. I'll focus on it later when I have more money. Now, as I was thinking through this particular mindset shift, I wanted to make sure that I pointed out that I'm not saying that I want you to spend all this time and all this money before you even get your product and service out into the marketplace working on building your brand. You need to have revenue coming in. You need to have people starting to recognize who you are at whatever level your brand is at from the beginning, right? But there's this idea that that's a cost. That's something that once I can afford it, I will come back to it when I have more money. The thing is, if your brand is not positioned correctly, it's going to take you a lot longer to get to the place where you can pay for that cost. And some brands, unfortunately, will never get there because you won't be able to survive in business long enough to make enough money to where you're investing in how your brand looks. And when we talk about branding, I talk about it all the time on this channel, of course. Branding, we're talking about the look, the sound. It's your colors, it's your fonts, it's the brand voice, it's the imagery, it's the way things are designed in your business. It's how your website looks, it's your social media pages, it's the consistent experience someone has when they first approach your business, even before they become a customer, and most certainly after they are a customer. Okay, that's your brand. If you don't position your brand to attract premium customers with intention, it's not going to happen. Premium brands don't just happen by accident. Okay, branding just being a cost is not necessarily true. We talk a lot on this channel about DIY entrepreneurs. That's who you are. You are already building your brand yourself. It's just a matter of, are you doing it with excellence, right? So instead of thinking branding is just a cost, something you're going to pay for down the road when you get money, you need to shift to, my brand is an investment that helps me attract high quality clients today. Here's the thing. I just lost my train of thought. My brand is an investment that helps me. Oh, yes. This is one thing I love to say, is that you will always attract the type of customer that you are. You cannot outpace a poverty mindset. If you are a bargain hunter, you're going to attract bargain hunters. If you're always looking to get something for free and you don't think that your brand, your business, your personal life is worth investing in the best, you're not always looking for VIP experiences, you're not always looking for the best quality you can afford, then you're going to attract people that think like you. So be sure that you become that person that you want to attract. I just threw that in. That actually could be a sixth mindset shift, but I'm throwing it in here on this one. High ticket clients are not looking for the cheapest option. They are looking for the best option. And your branding is going to signal what level you play at. Are you the bargain basement option, or are you the best quality, before you ever say a word? Because how your brand shows up is going to determine whether people even read further or listen further into your videos, on your web pages, etc. So instead of thinking, what's the cheapest way to do this? Start asking, how can I ensure that my brand reflects the value that I bring? Because there's a lot of you out there with high quality products and services that are not getting the traction that you want, because the branding, the way your pages look, the way your videos are, whatever it is you're putting out in the marketplace, or the lack thereof, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, is telling a different story from the quality that you're bringing. And so you never get a foot in the door. R stands for reputation is everything. Looking polished is about positioning, not price. So the old way of thinking is that if my product and service is great, people won't care about my branding. And there can be a little bit of truth to that, but is it enough truth to keep you in business? I don't think so. If you say I have the best of the best, but then I come in and I have a grungy experience with you, that's going to reflect. People are always going to complain about grungy experiences, right? You said it was the best, and maybe the product was the best, but the packaging, not just physical packaging, but the positioning and the experience was not great. And as I was just talking, I thought about when you go, you know how they say a lot of times the best food comes from greasy spoon restaurants or holes in the wall. And that can often be true. But a lot of those holes in the wall, when I'm parked outside and I can't see through the film on the window and I know it's filthy, I'm not going to go in the majority of those places. There are a few of them that maybe were grandfathered in from a time when I had a little bit different standard, or I just know their reputation from enough people that I trust. But in general, I'm not going to go rushing into a restaurant that looks filthy and assume I'm going to get a top level experience. Now, can you go in a great looking restaurant and have mediocre food? Absolutely. But what people expect and what they often experience at those nicer restaurants is a better service experience, is better food. So people, if you have a great product or service, there may be some movement. You may get some of your product and service out the door, but ask yourself, is it reaching the goals you want to reach? Is it enough units of whatever it is you sell to make it? Why is it that you want to have a brand that people have to just overlook and just, his stuff is good? You know, you might get some of that from some traffic from that, from people who hear from others, but you can't depend on word of mouth to keep you in business over the long haul. I say that all the time. People fight on it. There are businesses that have a lot of word of mouth, but generally speaking, you have to support your brand with your branding. And you want to make sure they don't have to look past your branding and try to assume they're going to have a better experience than what it looks like. So instead of saying, if my product or service is great, people won't care about my branding, you need to adopt the mind. And again, this is for people trying to attract premium clients. If you're just happy with the Regular people you're already attracting, this isn't even your video, right? But how I show up visually and professionally determines whether people trust my expertise. Did you hear me a few minutes ago when I was talking about the greasy spoon that gets people in the door because I might get me in the door because a friend or family member that I trust says that it's good. So somebody has to be trustworthy. And you can't depend on people who have no financial stake in your business to keep giving you enough customers with their word of mouth. You have to show up and present yourself as what you want people to believe you are in order to get enough traffic to justify staying in business and to get you to the revenue goals that you want to reach. So if your brand looks messy or inconsistent, people are not going to trust you. So you're talking to strangers out here on social media. Your friends and family are not going to keep you in business, either with their personal business or with their word of mouth referrals. High ticket buyers, and what I mean, I say high ticket, I'm also just talking about premium buyers, whatever your high ticket experience is. It may not be thousands, it might be hundreds, it might be less than that, but high ticket compared to your competitors, right? High ticket buyers need confidence before they invest. A polished brand communicates authority and stability. So use consistent branding, your colors, your fonts, your logo, and high quality visuals to create instant credibility. Use Canva's brand kit. You know, I talk about Canva a lot. You can use Canva's brand kit feature to keep all of those items in your digital brand organized so they're easy to access. But I just thought about something else. Your branding is also about how you sound, how your brand talks, the words it uses, the language, the positioning. Is it familiar? Is it informal? Is it very professional? Is it stoic? It also is about how you show up physically yourself. Whether you are the face of your brand or not, you're always the face of your brand, right? So it also comes across in how you appear, right? I happen to love style. I love fashion. So I like dressing up. So today I've got on a blouse that's dressier than what I had on right before I started the episode. Why? I'm out here talking to you about being consistent in your branding. I need to show up consistently in the online space as well. I'm not going to show up with a torn up t-shirt and something crazy looking when I'm doing business. That might be how I might show up if I'm just around the house or doing something else in the community, maybe, but definitely not when I'm out here presenting my business as the best option for you to learn how to brand yourself if to attract premium clients. If I looked grungy and crazy, you wouldn't believe what I'm saying right now. And that's just a fact. So again, your reputation is everything. It's about positioning, not just the price of what it is you sell. A is for attention is currency. Make every second count. So the old mindset is I'll just show up online when I have time. People are going to find me eventually. And let me tell you something. If you've got time for people to find you eventually, go off, queen, go off, king, if that's what you have. I'm here again for people who are trying to scale your business in 2025. Scale it quickly as makes sense for whatever it is that you sell. And you can't do that when you're random, when you're inconsistent. Make every second count. So instead of just saying, I'm going to show up when I have time, first of all, if you're in business, it needs to be one of your top priorities. The time needs to already be made for your business, or why are you even doing it? Instead, think every interaction with my brand is an opportunity to build trust and attract premium clients. So instead of seeing it like, whenever I get to it, I get to it. That's more like a hobby. Nothing wrong with having a hobby. But at the point that you decided it was a business, you need to treat it like it's important in your life. And look at every time you interact with your brand or interact with others through your brand as an opportunity to build their trust and attract premium clients. High value clients, again, those that are going to be willing to come to you because you're the best, not because you're the cheapest or the easiest. These people decide in seconds whether they trust your brand enough to buy. If your presence isn't clear, they're out. If it's not on a high level, they're going to move on. And I had to recognize, I didn't even know. So a bit of story time. Before I started my business in 2017, I did not even realize that I was a premium client. I did not realize that I had a high value mindset, that I had a high ticket mindset, because I had never been presented with the opportunity to invest in myself in the way that I did. I found out very quickly when I was first presented with the opportunity to invest thousands of dollars to work with a stranger that was going to show me the way to create the online business that I wanted. And the way I made that decision decisively, quickly, I followed through. I knew at that point that I was, first of all, destined for greatness, but also that I was going to be able to attract the clients I wanted because I was that type of client, which I talked about a few minutes ago. You have to know how to be decisive. This is kind of a sidebar. You have to be decisive in your decision making. Make your decisions, trust yourself in the moment to make the best decision, knowing that you can pivot later if you need to. That's decisiveness. High ticket premium clients, they make decisions quickly and they're going to make a decision in a moment. You have one chance to make a first impression and then they're going to move on. Because there's so many people in the marketplace vying for their attention, they're not going to wait for you to get your act together. Every interaction needs to matter. So review your social media, your website, your marketing materials. Would a high ticket client, again, the person is going to pay your price regardless of what other people are charging because they believe you're the best. Will they immediately recognize you as an expert? If not, it's time for you to refresh. It matters. If people come to social media and they can't find your business, that's a problem. If they find your business and they see something that's not been refreshed in years, something that looks old, outdated, that looks unprofessional, not polished, they're going to judge your product or service as not being worthy. And that's just what it is, whether it's fair or not, whether it's true or not, that's what's going to happen. You need to set your business up to be in a position to have the best opportunities, the best shot possible. Don't leave it up to chance. Don't leave it up to people finding you eventually. Be consistent with how you show up. And know that when people find you or when you go find them, they're going to have the experience, or they're going to believe they're going to have the experience that you want them to have. The N stands for no cheap looks. DIY branding should still look high end. Now, I've been doing graphic design since the late 90s, right? Been in marketing in some form or the other pretty much since then. Started out doing business cards, flyers. Stuff from back then was trash by comparison to what I do now, but I was in that space. If I had known it was a career option, I probably would have jumped on it, but I didn't understand that back then. DIY branding, which is something I've always done my own branding and marketing, does not have to look like it's DIY. I say this all the time. DIY does not mean dummy proof. There's a lot of people out here using Canva and similar platforms, and you can tell. I can tell a bad Canva job a mile away, mainly because I use Canva so much and I teach people how to use Canva. And because I do that and I can recognize it a mile away, even if somebody doesn't use Canva, they can recognize something about this doesn't ring true. They don't even know always, these potential customers of yours, what it is about your brand that they don't trust, or what it is about that doesn't look professional. They may not be able to verbalize it because they are not in that industry either. I can vocalize what it is. They can't, but they just move on. The way they verbalize that your brand is not quite right is that they just move on. So instead of thinking that DIY has to mean your stuff won't look as good as professionals, you can say DIY branding means I control how my brand is perceived and I can make it look premium. I'm always doing workshops, and often I do workshops. I have my Wednesday workshops. I do periodically, I do just some Canva series, teaching people that don't have a graphic design experience how to do their own branding in Canva and make it look polished. It's not enough just to go out there and pick a random template and put your name on it and think it's okay. Your brand overall does not scream professional, and that's why you're struggling to make sales. If you're just getting by, if you're just making enough sales to get by, but you're not really thriving, ask yourself, is it something that you're doing or not doing that's holding you back? And again, be willing to invest in yourself to get what you want. You don't have to hire an expensive agency to build a high-end brand. You do have to understand the key elements of premium branding, even if you're DIYing it. I'm going to make an offer at the end where you can talk to me more about some of those things that you can be doing in your brand strategy to make your brand look high end without you don't have to have 25 years of experience. You got my 25 years. Okay. Again, you can master tools like Canva to create high quality, well-designed marketing materials and assets. Okay. Pay attention to layout, typography, your color psychology to elevate your brand's visual presence. So if you had if you saw the colors, I don't know, let's see, black and gold together, you would probably automatically assume that that's elevated, but you don't have to use black and gold as the only way to express that you have a premium brand. There's a great person that I follow. Her colors are yellow and black. But because of the way that they are used consistently, clean, polished, she also demonstrates that she has a premium brand. My colors are orange, a deep navy, yellow, also a premium brand. Why? Because it's used consistently, because I make sure my stuff is professional. You need to do that. If you're going to get away from these bargain hunting, I'm gonna call them bottom feeders. They're great people. I don't mean bottom feeders as in they're not worthwhile human beings, but they're, maybe I'll call them bargain basement instead of bottom feeders. How about that? That are looking for a deal, that are looking for, because it's a race to the bottom. There's only so much you can discount your products before they're free, right? And then you're not making a profit. You can't be competing on price. There are people that do, but if you're watching this, it's because you want to attract premium customers, because you saw the name of the video, right? You can't compete on price. I don't compete on price. There are times I do have a cheaper price. There are times I do have an affordable price. I'm actually developing something right now that's going to sell for $27. That's not what you call high ticket pricing, but it is a quality product that people will be able to see is well worth 10, 100 times what I'm charging at the $27 price point. Sometimes you do a lower price point to get in the door with people. That doesn't mean that your brand is not a premium brand, okay? If you're taking notes, you're probably like, MJ done throw in some stuff that have nothing to do with this letter N. That's okay. I'm giving you bonus stuff. All of it matters, okay? But back to this letter. No cheap looks. DIY does not have to mean dingy or dirty. Okay, if you notice, dingy and dirty, those words all have DIY in them. DIY does not have to be dingy or dirty, okay? You can have a polished look even doing it yourself. You just have to get help to do that. And then finally, D stands for distinction wins. Your brand should be memorable and magnetic. So the old mindset is, I don't want to stand out too much. I'll just keep it simple. Why are you even in business if you don't want to stand out? You have to stand out in people's minds to get their credit cards out of their pockets and onto your sales page. Why don't you want to stand out? Just want to keep it simple. Why are you playing small? I need to do a whole video on not playing small in entrepreneurship. There's probably a few videos already on my channel from years ago. I've talked about this all the time. Playing small, that's not where it's at in entrepreneurship. You got to play big. Blending in, this is your new mindset. Blending in is playing small. My brand should set me apart. You have to be willing to stand out if you ever want to survive in the entrepreneurship game. If you want to have the revenue, the customers, the sales, the notoriety, the visibility that you want to have in your industry, you have to put yourself out there, right? You have to be distinctive. The key message is that in this crowded market, playing it safe makes you invisible. There are literally millions of websites. I don't even know how many websites exist. Millions of products, services. I don't even know how many people that are selling those products and services. And then you think just by every once in a while randomly going on Facebook, randomly doing this, randomly doing that, just play it small. I hope that the people on my Facebook friend list see it. That's going to get you to stand out in this place where there's this ocean of opportunity out there, and you're a small fish and you want to decrease yourself from being a small fish, now go down to what's smaller than a fish? I don't know. A tadpole? I don't even know. No, you have to be willing to distinguish yourself. Your brand should be unapologetically distinct. Unapologetically distinct. Something that people recognize instantly. If I asked you, what are my brand colors? One thing you're not going to wonder is it the color orange? Because I've been using that for years. You may not like orange, you may not like it or love it, but the brand is not about what the person's going to like. It's about what they're going to recognize and what they're going to associate in their mind with it. When people see my brand, they know I'm going to be teaching them something. I'm going to be coaching them about something. I'm going to be speaking about something. In this season, it's about branding, social marketing, right? In past seasons, it was about something else, finding your purpose and some other things I've done in the past, starting a business. But one thing they have seen consistently is MJ shows up with the color orange. It's my favorite color. It's what I built my brand around color-wise, right? It's distinct because I'm consistent with it. Like all this stuff ties together. My color, my brand color is distinct because I use it, right? It's not that it's orange. I could also use a dark purple color and that be distinct. It's not about which color it is. It's about how you position it, right? So you need to develop a signature brand element, whether it's your color scheme, some kind of a phrase. A lot of brands have a slogan. Sometimes it comes out of things that you say all the time. You know, I'm starting to say DIY does not mean dummy proof. I say that a lot in this season, right? That's not necessarily my tagline or my slogan, but I say it a lot because it's what I believe and it's something that undergirds everything that I do. You may need to be developing a unique messaging style. Is it familiar? Is it, you know, we're talking like we're girlfriends, or is it, I don't know, talking like we're family? I know some people, as one girl, every time she hops on her YouTube, she has a YouTube ad series going out right now. She says, "Hey, Queen." That's how she addresses. So I know instantly she's talking to women. She's probably talking to Black women, and her familiar tone speaks to me. Even though her particular product isn't something I need right now, I recognize her as a person whose voice I would listen to if I did ever need what it is that she sells. You know, what is that thing that it might be even a visual theme? What is it that's going to make you unforgettable? That is what the D stands for. Your distinction is what's going to help you to win. So these mindset shifts, these 5 shifts that we've talked about. B, brand like a boss. Your brand is an investment, not an expense. R, reputation is everything. Looking polished is about positioning, not price. A, attention is currency. Make every second count. N, no cheap looks. DIY branding should still look high end. And then D, distinction wins. Your brand should be memorable and magnetic. These 5 mindset shifts are going to change the way you think about your brand. And when your mindset changes, your results are going to change. So if you want high ticket clients, and again, not always thousands of dollars, not even hundreds, it could be less than $100, but they are premium clients for you. You have to start thinking, acting, and presenting your brand at that level. The good news is that you don't have to figure it out all by yourself. So if you are ready to refine your brand, elevate your brand from where it is now, whether it's non-existent or whether it's just limping along, to taking it to the next few levels. If you're ready to attract premium clients, if you're ready to position yourself as the go-to expert in your field, we need to talk. I am offering, and I haven't actually done this in a while, but I have opened up my calendar and I am offering one-on-one brand strategy calls. We're going to assess on this call your current brand presence, right? Where you at right now? Identify any gaps that could be turning away the premium clients that you want, and quite frankly, could be turning away any client. You may not have any right now. And we're going to look at that and say, what are people experiencing when they walk into your storefront online, right? And then we're going to map out the steps that you need to take to elevate your brand. I have not opened up time on my calendar like this in a while. So this is an amazing opportunity to get personalized strategy and expert guidance that's tailored to your specific business and what you are trying to do. So if you're serious about positioning yourself as a premium brand, book a call with me right now. It's a free call. It's complimentary at this point. I normally would be charging for these strategy calls, but I want to put out into the marketplace something that is of high value for my premium clients, but something that's accessible to anybody, no matter where you are in your journey. So MelanieHunter.com/I am Coach MJ. You're going to see it on there as a 30-minute call. Our call probably will be a little bit longer than that, depending on how much we need to cover. But let's go ahead and get on your calendar, get on my calendar and on your calendar, MelanieHunter.com/I am Coach MJ, and we will take it from there. I want to make sure that brands, specifically women-owned brands, specifically Black-owned brands, but really any brand, does not have to be Black-owned. You don't have to be a woman. You just have to be an entrepreneur who wants to go from here to here, and you want everything that's speaking for you online 24/7, your online brand presence to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting so that when you show up, you just have to make the shot. I don't know sports that well. But I'm trying to make a sports analogy. All you have to do is make the shot because everything's been opened up for you before you got there. Okay. So again, book your complimentary brand strategy call right now, MelanieHunter.com/I am Coach MJ. It's been my pleasure to share with you today. It's been another episode of Purposeful Presence. We are already on episode 11 for 2025. So proud and excited to be sharing with you each week. Be sure to like and comment. Share this episode, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and let me know in the comments what other topics you are excited about learning from me in this coming year. But again, go ahead to melaniehunter.com. That's Melanie with 2 L's, hunter.com/I am Coach MJ to book your free brand strategy call right now. And until next time, take care.